The original plan of God for man was prosperity. Prosperity of the soul, prosperity of the body, and prosperity of the spirit. But you see, like we already understand from the previous teachings, when the ordinance is broken and violated, the grace can no longer flow. And the devil understands this perfectly. And so when God created the man, in order to reveal to him a prototype, please help him, to reveal to him a prototype of what he wanted, before the man ever began serving God, God created a garden where all his needs were met, and he planted him there. The Bible says in Genesis 2:15 to 17, it said God planted a garden on the east side of Eden, and he said he put the man there. So the man was not created to lack anything. But the devil knew that there was a way of overturning what God had created. And the way of overturning what God has created is the way of rebellion. And so what the devil did was to come and persuade the man to turn against the Lord. And so in Genesis 3 from verse 1 to 5, he came into this man's abode and began asking him questions. Does God really say? That's the problem of not having exact knowledge. Does God, or did God really say? And the man allowed the devil to teach him the way of rebellion. The moment rebellion was introduced into the equation, the law that God gave to prevent man from wealth was activated. Is the law of debt. He said in Genesis 2:17, the day you shall eat of this fruit, the day you choose the path of rebellion, you shall surely die. And death in the New Testament means two things. Number one, it is separation from God. And so when the man died, he was detached from the commonwealth of Zion. Remember, when Jesus was teaching us to pray, he said, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Now, there were three things Jesus itemized there. Number one, he called God Father. The word Father is the word fundus. It means God is your foundation. God is your supplier. Your job is not your supplier. Your business is not your supplier. God is our source. That's why he's called Father. Number two, he said our source is in heaven, not on earth. That's why we don't depend on nature to survive. Our resources and our survival come from another dimension. And then number three, he said, give us this day our daily bread. That means we call forth our resources from that dimension. When man died, he was disconnected from his source. He was disconnected from the realm of his sustenance, and he lost the right to call forth resources from there. So death ejected man into poverty. When man was connected to God, he was connected to Father, he was connected to the realm of supply, and he had the right to call forth supply from that realm. When he died, he was separated from that realm. So that separation becomes the foundation of his poverty. Number two, death is corruption. Because when the man was like God, anything he called, the Bible said that was what it was. That means the man had enough power to recreate, to refine, to reprogram, to redesign. Because whatever he calls it, that man can carry a piece of metal and say, this is air, this is car. It becomes a car. That man can carry a piece of stick and say, this is a flying object. It becomes. So the innovative power that gives wealth was resident with that man. But when he died, those propensities also began to diminish. And it keeps diminishing completely because death had entered him. And so